Hi, I'm Rebecca. Welcome to my sewing room. This is Sew Be It. We have a couple new friends in our house. This is one of them. His name is Dolce. We have his brother also. This little guy here is Gabbana. You're on my sewing channel. He's always hanging out in here. So if you see some cats in the footage, that is who they are. So every year for my birthday, not every year, since I've been sewing, and every year that I am sewing over my birthday, I obviously have not sewn consistently over the years, but way back when I sewed previously, and since I've been sewing this time, I like to make myself a dress for my birthday. Usually, or the last couple of years, I've been doing it the week of my birthday. So my birthday is actually tomorrow. And so I was not actually planning to make the dress that I'm making, but I found some fabric when I went to Hobby Lobby and I fell in love with it and decided I want to make a dress, and it's going to be my birthday dress this year. So this year I am making McCall's M8401. It's a 1950s reproduction pattern. I fell in love with this purple gingham. And this pattern calls for possible fabric of gingham. Obviously, it's even in the picture here for dress B. Dress A and B are the exact same. The details are just different. So like the contrast fabric is different. Dress A has rickrack, dress B has piping. But other than the details, they are the same. So my plan is to basically make dress B with the purple gingham as the majority of the dress. The cummerbund-ish area, it's not really a cummerbund, it is just part of the fabric, is going to be a solid purple. Number one, because I didn't have enough of the purple gingham, and number two, I thought gingham on gingham might look kind of funny. So that's what I'm doing for the fabric. I am also going to pattern hack this. I don't love that real tight neckline, and I'm not a fan of collars like that. So I will be pattern hacking this, and I'm going to do a rounded scoop neck is my plan. Might just do a lower or a wider round neck. Not completely positive yet, but I'll let you know in my alterations. Even though I am doing dress B, I didn't want to do the piping. I did look for the piping, but the only place I have available to me now close is Hobby Lobby, and Hobby Lobby did not have any purple piping, so I didn't even bother getting it. They did, however, I like the idea of the rickrack. I've never had anything with rickrack on it. So they did have purple rickrack. I got 2 packages of that. These are each 3 yards, and the pattern calls for 2 packages. So that I did get that. And then because I'm not doing the same neckline with a collar, I thought it might look plain. That was just a rounded neck. So I got a smaller purple rickrack, and I got this white lace. And I had originally thought I would use one or the other, but I think I'm going to use the lace and then put the purple rickrack at the top here and sew it down that way. Finally, the pattern calls for 3 buttons. When I decided on buttons, I was not exactly sure which ones I wanted. So I found these purple wooden flowers, and these plasticky, look shiny flowers. So once I get to that point, that's when I'll decide what flowers or what buttons I want for the dress. I now need to go ahead and trace the pattern and prep my fabric and everything, so I will be fine. So as you can see with the muslin here, I obviously have to make a mock-up. But the first thing I need to do is alter my neckline and trace out facings for this. I have the dart pinched out like you're supposed to, and I have it taped together with the seam allowances out of there. So now I can go ahead and change this neckline. So I want it down about 4.5 inches from where it's at. So I'm going to mark that. And I want the back down only about 1 inch. So I'll mark that. Also, the shoulder needs to be a little bit smaller. I want a little bit of a wider neckline. So we're going to go 2 inches. I'm going to go with that middle there for the new neckline. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that up. Well, I need to move these down. Okay, and now I'm going to go ahead and cut that out and then work on the mock-up. And then once I get the mock-up finished, I will be back to show you the fitting. Made a couple more adjustments on my pattern pieces. The front midriff still needed to be taken down a little bit, and I had measured, and I needed to drop it 1 3/8 inch, which did include the seam allowance. So I went ahead and did that. At where the dart is, I dropped it 1 3/8 inch and made a straight line across, which is that new one. And then I used this ruler to make the curve. The first curve I made was this line here, and I didn't really like how it looked because this point where it originally was fit really well. So I then just adjusted and made a new curve. So here's the new curve, and this will be 5/8 of an inch lower than what it is now because it's basically lined. So that is right about where it will be. And so that sits really good. You can kind of tell I have it pinned at the waistline so it's not dropping down. And I think that fits okay right there. I did do a small sway back adjustment, and it looks like I actually need to go and do more. So with the sway back adjustment, I took this back piece and you cut at the short and lengthen line to but not through at the fold. And so that's what I did. And then I moved it up 1 inch. And so it took out some of that space, but it did not take out enough, obviously. And I think I need to take out more here than what I did in the center. In the mirror, it's folding at that seam line. So I think I might just cut the top down a little bit in the center. I think I'm going to take it down an inch here. And kind of taper it up. And restitch that and see how that actually fits. That might be better than what I've got right now, because I can't take the length out of the side seams. But if I take that, I have to take more space out of that. Maybe I'll do the same thing though. I think I'm going to do another sway back adjustment. Oh. Because I didn't take any space actually out of the center, so maybe I just needed to shorten it. Because the bottom part is literally like perfect where it's at. I took the length out of the side seam, and that has worked out just fine. But I need it out of the center. I'm going to drop the center down an inch, and I'm going to try and go that way, and we're going to try that and see how that works. And hopefully that works. And then if that works, I may not have to take out any here. It might pull it to fit the way it needs to. Because it is this piece of fabric that's bunching up. So I'm going to go ahead and try that. Real quick before I discuss the pattern or anything, I've already gone over some footage, and I want to apologize for the lack of footage of this video. I thought I recorded more, so either I missed the actual record button or I accidentally deleted it. So, sorry at this point in time. As for the pattern, my final product, I feel, looks pretty close to what the envelope picture shows, and that would be due to all of the fitting work that I did. Other than obviously the neckline, which is the hack that I did for this one, and maybe some of the details are not exactly like it, but the shape, the overall shape, and where the major things are, I think is pretty similar to the envelope. Because of all of the details, if you do not like perfectly fit the pattern block, then you will have a lot of fitting that you have to do. So go ahead and take on the challenge. It is fun to get a final product that looks pretty close to what you're actually supposed to have. So go ahead and take on that challenge. So even though I had a lot of work to do on this pattern just to make it fit me right, I really enjoyed it. I am glad that I made this. Not only is it a fun dress, but it's actually really comfortable compared to the majority of the dresses from 1950 that I wear. This has been adjusted so that it fits a modern block, because I did recently learn that there's a reason why the actual vintage patterns fit me funny. And it's because of the different undergarments we wear and because of how we use our bodies. Our bodies are now built different, but the originals have the sleeves way pushed way back, so you have to stand with the correct posture, not the way that we normally stand today. So this fits really well and it's really comfortable. In my final reveal, and actually every time that I have worn it so far, I have worn it with a petticoat underneath it, which is really how the style is supposed to be. It does not have a lot of volume with just the dress itself, with just the gathers. However, petticoat can be kind of annoying because sometimes it'll ride up, or I just don't feel like having the petticoat on. I will wear it without, and it'll be a more casual dress, like around the house, but it'll be just that little bit more comfortable. It's not the way I have fit it. It's not anywhere tight on me. It's comfortable the way I like my clothes. So it doesn't bother me to add the petticoat every once in a while, or recently every time that I wear it. So that's all I have for you this week. I really enjoyed making this pattern. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and especially checking out the final product. If you liked my video, hit that like button for me. It tells YouTube that you like it, and it does help my channel. If you want to make sure you see all my videos, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and you can subscribe to my channel and see on your subscribers page every single time that I post. And if you would like to be notified every single time I post so that you don't miss anything, you can hit the notification bell and YouTube will notify you every time. If you made this pattern and there was any issues, or you have any questions or anything at all about it, if you loved it, just anything, if you would like to share with me, go ahead and let me know. Go ahead and leave a comment. I would love to really be able to start chatting with you guys and get to know who my viewers are, and just hear your stories as well. Thank you for watching Rebecca's Sewing Room. This was So Be It.